Okay, we are now going to look at some examples in practice 1, and hopefully this will help you get started and allow you to solve the rest of the questions without too much problems. Okay, so first, question 1a, 0.6 times 10. So I'm going to write 0.6 in this table here, so 0.6, and multiply by 10. There is 1 0 in 10. And when you multiply anything by a whole number, it's going to get bigger. So all the numbers are going to shift one square to the left because there's 1 0. So 6 tenths becomes 6 ones. And we don't have to bother about the 0. So you could also think of it as 6.0, but it's the same value really. And I prefer to keep it simple and not write any unnecessary numbers at all. Okay, so 0.6 times 10 is 6. Next, we come to 4a and 4c since they are pretty similar. Okay, question 4a, 0.04 times 100. So again, I'm going to write 0.04 here. And since there are 2 zeros in 100, all the numbers are going to move to your left by 2 squares. So 4 hundredths will become 4 ones, and we can really ignore the zeros here. Okay, so it is 4 ones, which is 4. You can also think of it as 4.0 or 4.00. They all are the same value. Moving on to 4c. 4.9 times 1000. So I'm going to write 4.9 here. And when I multiply by 1000, so 3 zeros here in 1000, so everything shifts to the left by 3 squares. So the 4 ones becomes 1, 2, 3, so 4000s here. The 9 shifts 3 squares here, which is 9. And I'm going to fill out the zeros at the end here. Okay, so what we have is 4000s and 900ths, which is also 4900. Again, after the decimal point, you can add a 0, you can put it 4900.0 or as many zeros as you want, but again, I'm going to keep it simple. All right, so once you're done with this, you should be well equipped to complete questions 1 and 4. Now we come to the next step, which is multiplying a decimal with a multiple of 10. So let's look at question 3a as an example. Okay, 0.3 times 70. I can think of it as 0.3 times 10 times 7. So I'm going to write this here, 0.3, and I'm going to multiply it by 10. So everything moves to the left by 1 square. 3 tenths becomes 3 ones. So this is equals to 3 times 7, which some simple mental calculations will tell you that it is 11. All right. Next, we come to 6a. 0.7 times 400. I can also think of it as 0.7 times 100 times 4. So I'm going to write 0.7 here, 7 tenths. So when I multiply by 100, because there are 2 zeros, everything shifts to the left by 2 squares. So 1, 2, 7 tenths becomes 7 tenths. Okay, and then I'm going to fill up the rest of the gaps. There was 0 here. So this is really 70 times 4, which would be 280. Coming on to the last example, 6.09 times 8000. I can also think of it as 6.09 times 1000 times 8. Okay, so how do I show this in this table? This would be 6 ones, 0 tenths, and 9 hundredths. Okay, 6.09. Don't forget the decimal point. With 3 zeros in 1000, everything is going to shift to the left by 3 squares. So 6 becomes 6 thousandths. 0, this time it is important. You have to move it because it is in the middle of two whole numbers. 9 becomes 10, so 9 here. And since there's a decimal point here, I'm going to fill up the last square in the ones place with a 0. So this is 6090 times 8. Okay, you will have to do some multiplication on the side, but it's going to give you 48720. Okay, and this is what it will get you. After this, give it a try and complete questions 3 and 6. Finally, let's come to questions 2 and 5. For 2a, what number do I multiply 1.907 with in order to get 19.07? So I'm going to write both numbers in a table on the left. First, 1.907, I can write it here as 1.907. And then I'm going to need to get 19.07. Okay, so as you can see, everything has been shifted to the left by 1 square, right? 1 square. So there's 1 0, and I'm gonna put a 1 in front, so the answer is 10. Now let's try 5a and 5d. For a, I have 108.1, and what do I need to do to change it to 10,810? So first, let's see, 108, so 108.1, and I need to change it to, whoa, this is a big number. Okay, I'm gonna have to write outside the square for this one. 10,810. Okay, so as we can see, everything has been shifted left by 2 squares. So there's going to be 2 zeros followed by 1 in front. So the missing number is 100. Okay. Finally, I'm thinking of a number, and when I multiply by 1000, I'm going to get 2350. Okay, so first ask yourself really, this number here, is it going to be larger than 2350 or smaller than? Okay, since it's multiplied here, you know that this number is going to be smaller than 2350, which means that everything now shifts to your right by 3 squares. So let's start with the 0. So 1, 2, 3, so I put a 0 here. Now with the 5, so 1, 2, 3, the 5 goes here. With the 3, so 1, 2, 3, the 3 goes here. And for the 2, 1, 2, 3, the 2 is here. And don't forget the decimal point, so I have 2.35. You could put a 0, but since it's the same answer nonetheless, I'm just going to leave out the 0 and have the answer be 2.35. Okay, this is a little bit more complicated, so take your time to try this and look out for the answers coming to you the next day.